Hey, and welcome to my channel about living in and moving to Denver, Colorado. Today, the video is about living in downtown Denver. Let's get started. Hey, I'm Katie Martineau, also known as the Real Estate Gal. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you get notified every time I release a video, which is twice a week. Also, I want to mention I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Colorado, so if you need help with buying, selling, or anything in between, I'm your gal and would love to be in touch. I have my contact information below. Please reach out, phone, text, or email, whatever is preferred for you. In the meantime, let's get more familiar with moving to the heart of downtown Denver. So the population of Denver is quite high, but the downtown doesn't make it feel like that. It's not comparable to, let's say, a Minneapolis or Chicago or a New York City. Downtown Denver is actually, it's not as popping, if you will, and there are different areas and neighborhoods that cause it to spread out a little bit. So you're not gonna get those really huge skyscrapers that you would see in those really big cities. We do have a couple tall buildings such as the Coloradan, the Quincy, Glass House, Four Seasons. Those are all condo complexes. Just like the Four Seasons, it's if you are on, I think it's floor 14 or higher, they're condos, and then everything below that is hotel. So they have the concierge, they have a ton of amenities. But other than that, there's not a lot of super tall buildings to live. There are some really cool historic places that they've converted and refurbished into being lofts with those exposed bricks, the exposed duct systems, really open space, high ceilings, and those ones are really cool because the buildings are like 100 or 150 years old. Depending on specifically where you're looking downtown, you're probably not going to find any townhomes unless you're just a little bit outside of downtown, but you definitely will not find any single family homes. So it's going to be more apartments and condos. With all of these apartment complexes and condos, you're probably going to expect an HOA, but you do get some pretty badass amenities depending on where exactly you're looking. So there's going to be pools, hot tubs. Some of the places have rooftop grill spots, community gathering areas, special dog walking areas or small little dog parks that are only accessible if you're in that building. And then parking, sometimes depending on how old the building is, the parking could be underground or they might rent out a parking lot that's exclusive to the building. So if you live in the heart of downtown Denver, you might actually not even need a car. If you have friends that go for hikes and you can go in the mountains with them, carpooling is great, but you really kind of have everything that you need downtown if you live there. There are a ton of sporting events such as our Colorado Avalanche, which just won the Stanley Cup last year. We have the Denver Broncos. We have our Colorado Rockies, which is our baseball team. There's a fair amount of small venues around that have concerts. There's always something going on with the food scene. There's a ton of restaurants to choose from. We just got a Target that's right downtown on 16th Street Mall. If you're a local, you typically wouldn't stop at 16th Street Mall. I feel like that's kind of a tourist trap with a bunch of chain restaurants like Hard Rock Cafe and Yard House. There are a couple locally owned places along that strip, and it does have the convenience factor. But there's so many things to choose from if you're looking to dine out. And if you don't want to leave your home in your downtown Denver, there's DoorDash and Uber Eats. So it's super easy to grab any type of cuisine you can think of. If there's something a little bit further away and you don't have a car, Lyft and Ubers are super popular. We don't really have taxi cabs. I honestly can't remember the last time that I've seen one. Normally they're the numbers like 333, 333, 333. And I can't recollect the last time I actually saw a taxi now that I think about it. But if it's too short of a ride for an Uber or Lyft, then you could always take the electric scooters that are around town. We also have electric bikes, but you essentially have everything you need within walking distance if you're right downtown. Now that easily segues into transportation. With parking, you have a couple options. There are meters that you can park at. There's very little free parking spots unless you're in Rhino, which I wouldn't necessarily consider downtown Denver. And then if you live downtown, make sure you get a deeded parking spot with your unit or complex. And if you don't, definitely look into what is included with your building. Do they have an attached parking garage? Do they have a designated off-street parking lot? I have a girlfriend that lives right down Spear, and she at her complex actually has valet. Granted, I think it's for guests, but what a nice feature. I loved visiting her. And then her complex was built that the first and second floor were all parking, and then everything above that were condo units. If you're going from one spot to another that's right downtown, the 16th Street Mall has a free mall ride. It is under construction right now. We are in the beginning of 2023. So hopefully that'll be wrapped up before we know it, but you can just hop on that bus and take it down a mile or two to get from one side of downtown Denver to the other. All right, now diving into price points of the type of housing that is downtown Denver. Probably going to be around the $600,000 to $750,000 range, depending on, of course, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, how high you are, and then what type of building. Now, there might be a trade-off as well. So if it's a lower priced unit, they might have a really high HOA. I have seen a couple that are $600 to $900 per month. That is something for sure, if you are buying, to keep that in mind, because that will affect your DTI. So if it's $600 or $900 a month, let's just say $900 a month, do you actually need a car, or do you have all of the amenities you could possibly think of included with your unit? Or do you want to look for a place that's a little bit pricier with a really low HOA because you don't need all the amenities? So keep that in mind if you have a search set up. And I'm happy to set up a free search for anyone, just so you can see kind of what's available, what the price points are at. Just make sure that you keep an eye on the HOA versus the price point. They can also balance each other out. So a really high HOA and a low price point is going to be the same monthly mortgage as it would be if you had a high price unit with a low HOA. So it's just a trade-off of whatever your preference is. We kind of got into sports teams a little earlier. We really have everything that you need downtown if you like that lifestyle. There's Ball Arena, which is definitely walkable. There is Union Station. You have to visit there. If you're just coming to visit, you have to stop at Union Station. It's a functioning train station, tons of bars and restaurants, cute little pig train coffee shop inside. Right across the street is Machete Tacos, which is one of my favorites for tacos. And I came from the Midwest, so I don't know if you've heard of Don Pablo's, but I was expecting just crunchy hard shell tacos that are just kind of not wonderful. So when I had a friend ask if I wanted to get tacos, I was like, probably not. But Machete's is super good. Their queso dip is the long stringy cheese type queso, and you dip your chip in. And then their tacos have different types of tortillas. There's a jicama tortilla, a blue corn tortilla, a poblano pepper, and they're all different colors. So it's awesome to get a huge platter and try the different varieties that they have. There's Water Grill, which is one of my favorite seafood restaurants. Or if you're looking for a kind of a farm to table steakhouse, Urban Farmer, which is right next to Union Station as well, has great crafted cocktails. They have a New York strip flight, and so you can try New York strip prepared in 3 different ways. And we got the Wagyu beef add-on, and it was super fun to have kind of a little tasting of steak. The convention center is really close by, and then a couple blocks away there's the Performing Arts Center, which has the Buell Theater, and I've seen Kevin Hart there. Joe Rogan came to town, Phantom of the Opera, Hamilton. A lot of arts and culture are going on in that complex. There's also the trifecta when the Broncos are playing at Empower Field, or maybe there's a concert at Empower Field. There's something going on, like the Rockies are playing at the Rockies Stadium, and then something's happening at Ball Arena. I always think that's kind of funny because there are so many people that are downtown, but there's always something going on in Denver, so you're never gonna have a dull moment. So if you're interested in seeing what type of complexes are available in downtown Denver, I'm happy to set up a free search for you. You just got to reach out with my contact information below. Or if there's a different area of Colorado that, one, you're interested in learning about, please comment below or send me a message. And 2, if you want to set up a search in a different area, you got to reach out and I'd be happy to help you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe button so that you get notified every time I release a video, which is twice a week. And in the next video, we're going to be covering some suburbs of Colorado. We'll see you then.